And later on, the Muhammad Gandhi body the war. They took what? They took Mecca. Mecca is what they took to form Mecca. It's a new town. They took one of our stone, Kaaba. Kaaba is it Kaaba? You know, around the Kogi State area where the shrine is center. And a local jar or something like that. They took that black stone. They took it to form their Mecca. Now everybody worship. Who is worshiping idol? You say we are worshiping idol. If Afghanistan, if Iran, all those. You say when you talk about Africa. There are many names so our people have, but there are series. It's a series. Another series will handle it. You say Africa, Eferika, Eferika. That we are the Efe people. They are the Efe people. That Reka, that's an Eka, Re of Eka. That's the shrine of it is what called what? Hiyika. Hiyi is shrine. Hiyi. You call it, you spell it as EU. You spell it as IYE. You spell it as IRE. You know. You spell as HE. Some side they just leave only H or LE. So he ka is the shrine of Eka. That's when you talk of Africa. When you talk of Idu, we are Idu people droid. Bonduri Idu people droid. You say he do. The what they call them? The Indians. What is their shrine? They say Hindu. You see, Veyakre, Rama. Everything is ve. They are Ndire. Are we not Ndire? We are Ndire. The Ray people, Ndire, that's what India talk. And their shrine is what? Hindu. He-do. The same he-do. That's why Bini, you say voodoo and all those ones, is related to them. But I have not been able to trace that one. My fathers did not mention much of that. All they were. But you see that they say their shrine is Hindu. And we are he-do. The same he-do. It correlates. Then you now talk about Iberia. Imbiriwa. That's this. So Mbiriwa, Hebrew is the same. Our that the shrine of Iberia of the world. Ibriwa. You understand? You talk of Oneka, Onoyika, Onoka. It's the same thing. You talk of runic. So our fathers, they knew what they were saying. The capital of that Canaan, the capital of that Ibriwa is called Ota. Ota. That's why you see even the Bible they will say Taneka. Taneka talk of Tanaki, Ake of talk of the rulers. Quran, Quran. Everything is same. You see everything revolves around this Ota, being the headquarters of Oteja. The capital of that Oteja, the capital of that Africa, the capital of Iberia, the shrine of it is here. Is what I'm talking of. So when I'm saying where we are, that is the boundary is overshadowed by Benin Empire and all these Yoruba empires and all the Arochukwu Empire in the olden days. But and Benin Empire now was sitting totally on it. It was established on top of it. You see, that was why history like kind of deleted it. But our people were passing it in this shrine, passing it to their next handover, and they were handing over some of those details. Till it get to people like us. We read the contemporary English. You said everything alive. We say, okay, this is really who we are. So when they say Israel is not a name of person. It's a name of a king, a town. It's a naming of a, you say, okay, Hebrew. This is Hebrew. Oh, this is Onoka, Nok. You see that everything correlates. So our history, they are telling us of creation of, our people was waiting for Osa. Osa will come and save us, make people not to die again, make us to become gods, make us to live. So it's the same thing with what they are talking of resurrection in another way. The church twisted it. I don't even know which one Muslim is doing because all is violence, kill, fight. You understand? But everything Musa, everything about them is still the same Eka language. The same, not the same Eka story. That was why they insist they are bringing Islamization to take over the Holy of Holy. They've taken our parents told us that in the olden days, a lot of our shrine was stolen by war. They will come and carry this, a lot of instruments of the shrine, like Moika, so many of them. They are not done. They still want the land, pursue the people, the real children of the gods, the real Hamites, holy people. But we will not, for me, I'm applauding every Africans. I'm not saying you are not Muslim. There's freedom of religion, whatever you are worshiping. But the fact remains that you cannot know more than your father. Your father lives with the gods. He said the gods is black, the god is red, the god is this. You cannot wake up and say the god is white. You only heard from your father. Which revelation do you have? Think the gods are not wise? They preserved us. That's why we are bringing out the story for people to wake up. As it is in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. We are going to the end time. And for man, there is two options for man, which are either to eternity when the white becomes more, man becomes useless, or men will become the gods. Osa, which is Osiris or Osa, how you call it, we wake up to teach men. That's why our parents say everybody must learn about must have the skill of the gods, of a server, of a high priest. If everybody, they initiate everybody is supposed to learn it, have that power, so that when Osiris comes, when Osari Ogogo or Zano Ogogo, they call it, when he comes, he will teach all man how to live everlasting life without dying. That is the principle which the church have twisted. They twisted it, you must die. You must do. No, our own people is different. Anyway, there's series for that. Let me not go far. Series for that is coming. I'll be mentioning. I'll be giving little, you know. Let me end this. But remember, we need to take over the government of this country, Nigeria. That is the principle. All Africans must come together and take over the government of Nigeria. Politics is a game of number. When we have taken it over, we establish. I'm not saying a sectarian state. No, it's not. Thank God we are polytheistic. Science, we have the scientific power. We have the knowledge, a human resource. We have it to develop scientifically. Even if creation is not, if recreation or eternity, making man to live eternity is not achievable spiritually, but by the power of divinity, we can do it scientifically. That man, there are so many things about cloning, so many things about, let me not go about the teloma, so many inventions now that can make man. The only thing remaining is the portability of the mind. The moment we start porting mind from body to body, we have actually start living eternity. You see, it's just a little gap, a little breakthrough, which the divinity of the gods will help us to break through. That is which we call science, will give us that mind. Whatever it is, by the power of the divinity, men will start becoming God. At least men will start living eternity. That is where our fathers was aiming towards, but they were going it the other way around, through the divinity, through the ways of the gods. Because the gods, although they were not living in flesh and blood, but they were living forever. Science is now very close breaking it. So we need that divine power to have that knowledge and break it through. And they have said that as it was the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And it started where it started from. That is where it's going to end. Either we make it or we break it. So my brothers, my sisters, there is need for us to unite our human resource, so that this our era will be that, this our age will be that age that will make that difference. Forget about Christianity. They have failed us. Islam, fight, war. Go and read the history of Islam, how they started and where they are going. It's only violence. Who have they been able to convince by mouth? I'm not downing any religion. It's about God. They have the, but their ways our father has banished in this land. Though they have forced themselves upon us, enslave all of us. But it's time we win our, even till today they are using the Fulani now, try to take over everywhere. No. We must arise. We must carve our identity. We are the Israel people. We are the Hebrew people. We are the Oneka people. We are the Hindu people. We are the children of the gods, and we must stand like kings. For we are what? Nzere no. We are the kings, the children of the kings. Greetings. So those are the things I really want to say. My brothers and my sisters, I've mentioned the first one. This land, we need to rebuild the temples and the altars and the temples. That's temple when here like Ethiopia, those are the temples. So you find that people, when you hear Mali, Ghana, Mali, Oreka, Morocco, all those people, because that is where the white man recorded more history. But all of them happened here in West Africa, Nigerian area. Where they remember the pirates, the Vikings, the Vandals, the Da, all of them are here. I'll read them one by one, but today's title is Ancestral Standing Order and the prophecy of our era. The prophecy have said that they said all those people, instead of all these people must return those things of old. We must return it. So we must try to unify our line instead of separating, for us to succeed as people of the black race. Let us succeed as our. So I really crave your indulgence and permission, and I appeal that all of us will have to work together as youths of this black race. Wherever you are in Haiti, or see what is happening there. You are in the African America, Southern America, or wherever, any nation of the black race, you can see we are having problem all over the nations of the black race. There is no part of the world where the black race is having it well. No way. We have not been able to establish a government. Any part of the world, black race is always having challenges upon challenges because we reject our identity. We must refine our identity, restore it, refine it, refurbish it somehow instead of abandoning it. That is what I'm appealing. I'm not saying you are a Christian or you are a Muslim or you are a Judaist or you are any whatever worshiper, believer you are. The things of the spirit are far more than the things of the physical. Yes. We all know it. That's why we all are religious people. Religion, the religion, that's what our people call her. They said when they came. If you see Canaan name was Rigenu, the Rigenu, the religion. Those are on the journey to Enu. Enu is the Mbiri Enu, while our own earth is Mbiri Uwa. Hibi, while the Ibiri Uwa, that's Iberia. While the Hiyi Ibiri Uwa is the Hebrew. Hebrew Uwa is here. It's our own Nigeria, West Africa, the shrine of the whole world, where they kept the instrument of the God, because the gods created them here. The gods that made their headquarters when they came at Oshimi Ata, that Atlantic Ocean center, where they made that the center coordinate. That was why they made it there. They shifted it from around Egypt side. They shifted it to where the history their forefathers told them. That was why the world become. They sent the landmass that's closest to that Oshimi that's Oshimili. That's even the closest to the Elohim. Aliohimi. Ohimi Atahata, the land of the El of Ohimi. Eliohimi land. They say what? Oshimini, that is ocean, where leaks water. Oshimini Atahata. Ocean of the Atahata. That's what they call now. They turn it the other way. Atlantic Ocean. That's the land. That's why they made that place the zero coordinate of the world, center of the world. Because that's where they got the Atlantis. If there's an Atlantis, that's where Atlantis is supposed to be, around that edge. So the closest land was where they made Ngada. Where after creating man, they said, we call that our people said the instrument or they used to create man of Allah was called Oshun. Ozun. Ozun is a termite hole. They say man was created inside a termite hole. Perhaps the instrument looks like a termite hole. You understand? Where they were able to create man from Ada. Ada is what? Adakada. Ada, that is a gorilla or what they call Ada. We call Ada. Ada is what they call gorilla. They call it chimpanzee. All those ape, they are Ada. So Adamu, that's we. Adamu, Adabon, Nwada, Nwandu, Adun, or Ada, Nwandu, and you Nwandu, that child, Nwadun, that child of Ada. So man, the gods, they done so many creation, but the perfect recreation of themselves was in Nwada, that's Madam, Ada, that's Adu. It's a long story, but I'll get there. But what I'm talking of today presentation is this, what do you call it? Because there's so many stories to tell. So, and I feel like telling everything once, but I don't have the time. I still have to work to take care of my family. And at the same time, I'm still trying to form a kind of political movement so that we get ourselves back, take charge of our government, the governance of this Africa, the governance of let Nigeria get it right. All those people that are coming to politics as business, no, the people that are ordinary human beings should go into politics. Ordinary people should go into politics. Let us get it right. Let us be watchful of those that are there. As long as we are not greedy, we are not corrupt, we will get it right. And if Nigeria, if the whole black race unite, all the Americans, the United States of America, all of them in Britain, all of them in France, all of them in Russia, we have technology, we have the brain. If we unite and watch over greediness and corruption in this land, we have a watch. People created nations. They sit down with principles, with ideologies. They create it. Why can't we do it like the white people are doing it? Why? So that is why we cannot leave this into our children. We must do it this our age, this our era. So if you are interested, reach back to me. We are not saying by war, but whatever everybody asks for. We will not look like Hamites like our forefather lived. When they perishing, the Persia came and started destroying us. After that, they battled. Not the Arab people. They've been planted kingship. Both the Berry, both the Bomo, both the Badi. No, we are all one. Now we all came to worship God. We are in the land of the God and the firstborn. Now we want freedom. Freedom from every kingship. Let there be mayors in all our land. Mayors. We start politicizing from grassroots to the federal level. If Nigeria gets it right, West Africa will get it right. After Nigeria, we start doing country by country. We become the big brother of all nations. Till we get it right. This suffering is too much. Our fathers were killed and killed and killed. Age after age, the black will be misaligned. Look at our Germanic people, look at European people. All of them came out from here. The history is there, even though they don't know it or they don't want to write about it, because some people are psychophants. We know the truth. Our father ancestors know it. The people that didn't even go to school have the whole storyline. The kings refuse to publish it because when they publish it, it's like you are overthrowing them. Now, as I'm saying this, a lot of them will be angry. Yes, they'll be angry because the truth makes people bitter. A lot of them will be angry. Why is he saying this? The banning, the agreement of Ife has banned it. I hear was from you have Ife and I think it was that's or Ife. Name they changed to Ife before they return it. I think the white men return it back. When the white men came here, don't blame every so they were trying to re-establish Israel. That's why even when they removed the whole kings. But later on, our people were so naive. The kingship came back. They overthrew all the kings. The way you call them, the Agleka, they were part of here. They knew the story even more than us. The Anglo-Saxon, the Agola, Shazu Oni. That's their English name, their local name. Angleka, Agoleka. They are from the same Eka. Are they not Nordic? Onondeka? Onondeka is a Nordeka. Nordic from Germanic, from Slavic, from Nordic, all Nordic country. We lived there. We lived in Akan, Ali Akan. We lived all the whole world in the India. We all came here to form the shrine of the after the war. I'll give the story how black and white separated. After Roman Empire, those ones, with time, everybody said, when you see white, no, we don't want black here. There was crisis. But that's not what we are saying now. They knew. Even when the whites, the few whites that was going back, they were trying to go back, take over their land. As Anglo-Saxon was leaving Africa. They left from Africa here to take over their former Ambiri. We are Ambiri. They are Ambiri Teni. You have Latin, you have German, you have Ambiri, the Imbiri that turned out to Celtic and the Basque and all this. That's Iberia now, before it turned to in this Sopan and the Portugal. That's Portugal. We live in Basweka. If you look at the whole map, you see that almost all these different languages you see in West Africa, they were all there. Ali Basweka, Ali this, Ali that, they were all there living black. Because Moors, and you on the Moor, when Moors went back, they now pursued them back. It was that coming back, those that came back, that they tried to bring back all those Arabic, but the Arab have come out taking over the world. When they tried to form the Ottoman Empire, the same Otto God Empire. All those things are all related. They are all the same thing. It's only people that don't understand it, they'll start arguing what they don't know. They said, educated illiterates. Our ancestors that are in the shrine, they think they are not wise. They recorded every story. And I'm going to, as they taught me, as I'm asking my uncle, but all this was bringing this point, I will relate it to the whole world before I publish my book. But before then, we need to form, this country needs to wake up. We are blaming the Igbos because of their separatism. I don't want separatism, but something started it. We are blaming the Yorubas. Even the Fulanis that are here, they should know that they are Nigerian. I'm too small to decide all those ones, but people should sit down. And the Senate of Nigeria, the African Americans, people in America, everybody has a right to this country. We should sit down together and make sure that Nigeria gets it right. Not this corruption. One person enter, before next year he become a billionaire in dollar. This one enter, before next year become a billionaire in pounds. No. Money that's supposed to be invested, let us have fund and credit facilities to develop our land. One person will take it over and keep it for great grandchildren. The kings are so. If you write the king say calm down. No. Let us start politicizing from mayor. We will not separate. Let us identify that this is what we are. So that we know that you are Oroba. I will give the history origin. They are all religious. Their temple, later temples now changed to all this tribe here. The Oro Anwosa. Oro servers of Amu is what we call sun, the sun god. Amuosa, Jesus, Osiris. That's why my mother, my grandmother, when I asked that, I heard something, say, they are our people. Yeah, you know. Because when those the Puerushin came, the Perushan, they call it Persian now. When they brought their war of old, they scattered the nation. People ran towards Ghana side, Mali, all this everything, and they Fodu went there later on, and they ran. So all the people shift to that side. They pursue from that Sokoto. I've said so many things, but my book, all I'm saying, if you are in doubt of anything, or you have the same message in your shrines or in your locality, connect to me. We need to cross-fertilize our ideas, our ancestral message. If you have it and you listen to this thing, or you know somebody that you feel that the father was once a custodian of a shrine, custodian of an instrument of the gods, post this thing to that person, so that let us unify the ancestral information, the ancestral histories that those kings will never tell you. They will not, because they knew they were the ones that brought the evil one. They were installed upon us to stagnate this land. And are we not stagnated? Till we uproot them and start mayors. We start splitting. The land will start breathing. We are more spiritual than we are more physical. Till we start doing the right thing. My brothers, my sisters, I'm employing everyone. I will send out my website, my email. I'll write it there. If you send me through email, before now we contact in WhatsApp or in a phone. Then we discuss. We see how to. Your questions, but in comments below, those comments of YouTube or Facebook or whatever. I try to reach people more on YouTube. Those comment sessions. Send your questions, and I will, in an addendum session, I will answer as much question as expansion. We put our minds together. Your suggestions, whatever you feel that we can do, but we need to unionize. We need to come together. We need to do something for this race. We cannot just die off. If you hear more about creation, the story of creation, what humanity is supposed to be, that Christianity pushed off. They say they know so much. They did their own progenitor. We are all Christians. The Islam came, they know so much. They did their own. Religions are cropping. For the black race to get it right, we need to look back. Where are we coming from? That is why I'm coming here. Let us know who we are, our story. First and foremost, do people know that we are the Rinzerali people, the Hebrew people? Do we know that we are the Ofiyi people, the Efe people, the Ebiyi people, the Onoba Obotan, the Ibrio Hame people, the Abare Mo Abraham, the Abare Mo people? Do we know? We know that we are Ali Musa, Jesus. Go and save your us, the ground. We are the Allah, we are the Ele, we are the Ghana. We all name them Eliohimi. We know the Ofia people. Ahajoko, or what they call them. Do we know those things? Do we connect it? So you people start waking up now. As I told you, I said, I don't know many languages, but I know 2 languages very well. I know English language, I know a car language. I have found that English language, when you say problem, all the English words are the same. Love, Leofe, all the, from alphabet to the omega, that's omega. Greek you call it omega, we call it omega finish. From the beginning, Alefi to the omega. All of them are a car language. The Germanic word too, Latin, all of them are the same. So language even started from this our place too. So many things so I call it the origin of things. So we should know where we belong to. Let us not forget our history. If we know where we are coming from, that is when we understand this Nigeria have these problems and this life today. And when we understand where we are coming from, we know today. We'll be able to know our destiny, our projection. We know what our plan should be. That is the essence. I'm taking out time. I don't have time. I have children to take care of. I lost my wife. May bless her soul. We will live to see. I know that. So I am always very busy. But I want to be taking time, at least perhaps once in a week or twice in a week, to make a presentation on a topic that's almost 30 topics that I've outlined in my book. But before I publish that book, I want to have a cross-fertilization. I know people have, like in Urobo land, where the suffer is anything Benin Kingdom suffered. Hey, I didn't even say it at the end. Let me say this thing. So, I'll say this. So, my brothers and my sisters, people will say, how did I get this story? They were people they call them the Ofangwegbe people. My great-grandfather that carried this Ezuku, a shrine they call Ezuku, was one of the Ofangwegbe leaders in the olden days. Ofangwegbe people are the one they call the Sokmoba, that son, people that help try to push away the Obas. These Sokmoba people. You have Sokmoba now in Benin City. You have one side is Sokmoba, the other one is Sokpeka. Or Sokpeka, that is some, those that followed to pursue the car. Why some followed to Sokpo Oba, to pursue Oba. So that's why Benin was kind of divided into two. You have the one they call Tanta, that are Ota people that migrated, that they took there, that now they have supported the Oba. It's a long story, but what I'm trying to say is that one of my great grandfather, this issue, one of my great grandfather was a leader of that Ofangwegbe societies. It's like a secret society. Secret society. They work with the Kanuri, they work with the Hausa, they work with the Igbo. This Igbo, you call them, we call them a car people too. They were all fighting those Yorubas, those Emirs, Fulani. They were the one that fought those wars. They were pushing the Yorubas, trying to stop them. That was why they created this Anyoma, Iseluku, Onitsha, Agbo, Ishan, all those other areas, the Yorubas. And you have a Olokumi. You have all the tribes surround Egbanke. All the tribes, the small entity of them. Usolukumi, Urobo, Shekiri. Shekiri is called Isheki. Benue here is in Benue. Those are stories that come. All the tribes of Nigeria are Ika language. So my father was, my great maternal father was a leader of that Efamwegbe. As a shrine, because they fought everything, tried to. So in that place you have Ofangwegbe people were fighting the Otuefa people. Otu Egbefa. It's a society Efa definition. Why this Otu Ofangwegbe is a servants of the sun god society. That's the nickname. They're all the same people, but they were crisis. Why the other one do Ikale Radian form, and Ikale Radian, that's what they call Oduduwa. And Oduduwa is not his name. Oduduwa is the leading of the world. Droids. The droids of the world. They nick themselves Oduduwa. There's a nickname. We call them Ndi Jakeka, Ndi Jakeka, Ndi Sokweka. There's so many names they gave them, but the one that stick is Oduduwa. Oduduwa is not his name. His name is Ikale Radian. And so many other, and Odolige is there. There are about 6 of them, but they are from my own maternal family. One married Olije Loki. Because even I say I'm digressing. The whole of Egbanke land, you have Odi, a town, Idumodi. You have Oto, Igboto. You have Olige, Loki. You have Ota, Sekota. All of them are Nordica European gods. All of it is 6 community. Ali Mosa, Osiris. Osiris come Idumudi, Olua. So all of them are. Anyway, we'll get there. So my father was a leader of that Ofangwegbe, secret kind of something. And he was still a high priest. So the stories of those, what started that thousand wars, they call it Agaibiabi, thousands war, perhaps 2000 years. They've been fighting this war. From the Puera, when in the Puera that pursued them from Ale Zoro, Zoroastrian land, Akan, and Shoma, still came to trouble them. In the Puerushi, that we call it Pereshua, so, but now they call it Pesha. In the Puerushi came to this land to scatter the Buheraira madness. They call it the Arapo. That's Arab. Arab is a combination of Arab. We call them Arab people. That's Arab, the Arab, both Aramaic or Arab or Arabic. That is the Arab. Why is what? Because of you see the connotation of Arab. So when they brought their madness, the war of Persia, they scattered the land. So that war started. They started instituting. Up to Easter, we tried to so they pursued the white from this land. Then life was black and white. So this thing continued till after many centuries. Ikaledian was not there that time. Oh. No, it was later Ikaledian, Gideon, what they call, happened. Later, that is after Muhammad era. Islam has started. But the Puerushi started, if you see Bible has at least a little chronology of the histories, which we don't have. That was the Persia side. And the Buera, the Puerishi. Buera from Ishi. Perusha. Anyway, so when those people sustained the war, they will be trying to push off. The Roman came here. If you look at history, a lot of them came to scatter this Kalan because they were saying idol worshipper, this worshipper. They tried to form new religion, new reasons to attack the black race. Not just the black. Then black race was every the whole world. Even the blacks was fighting against the black. When I say Arabics are not black. They are blacks. They are blacks and white. We are still black and white. Nyanyane was here, they were there. Everywhere was war. There was no black race, there was no white race. We all mixed together. But people have different group of people. This one look like this, one look like this. That's not issue. So those people that my great grandfather was one of them that led that war resistance. So he told us that even the Igbo, the Kanuri, the Jukun, the Ojok, my father's name, the Grima, my father's side is from Jukun in Otao. We call it Obodogin. But their own is Ogin. That's king kind of kingly. But their own is Juku side. So we greet their own greeting is Ojogun. Ojogun. That's Ojogun. Yeah, Juku. The way they get the Ukbe is Ukbe, light. Temple people. So we have anyway. So my own grandmother, paternal father, was a leader. So in a shrine, they were handing over some instructions that this land, the aim of their fathers was to return all the shrines of the world to this land, so that the curse will be broken. That is why I knew some of those stories. You see it? So the stories are two. They are two parts. So there are two parts, which we all should always not forget. The same thing with my father's side. They all pass those stories. That at the right time, this land must be brought. All the people that are running away, they need to come back, so that the world will start becoming what we used to be. That is the reason. Right? Then you now still have, later, they now still have this, I mentioned about the prophecies of the day. The prophecies of the days, when you talk about those Olokun people, Igbe people, all those Ogbebulu people and all that, when they meet, they gather to pass instructions. So, those are the things we should not forget. As I was saying, my great-grandfather was a leader of the society they call Ofe Angu Egbe. Ofe, Efe, servants of Angu Egbe. Egbe society or family. Angu, servants of Angu, Amu. Amu is a sun god. It's a river actually. It's a river around Bosa, around that Daura area. That's where you have beside Ife and around that river Niger. Beside Ife, where the Ilorin side. Ilorin land is called Land of Iron. Eli Iron, that's the Iron God. Eli Iron God. There they have their horoscope. It's around that. And that's why Ife is Ilefe. Ilefe, land of Sava. Ilefe, Efe, Savas. Ilefe, that's Ilefe. Ilefe, land of the Sava. They are all a cow word because they are our land. They have Ilefe Mbiota. We are one where we are staying nice Ota, but there is Ilefe. They are all both Sokoto, Sekota, or Kaduna, or Ikaleo, Ile Koishi become Lagos. Where they say Ile, they say lie. It's Ile Iko, Jericho, Iko Ishi. Ile Iko Ishi. That's Iko, where of that region, those temple people live. That from Lagos, when the white men came, Ile Iko Ishi. If the kings explain so many things to you, you know the truth. So they kill everything. Benin, I say Benin, Benu is from, you see, Ili Binu, Nun was a Nun, the flying god, sky god. Nun, we have a song for it, we have a story for it, Nun, Nunu is another son of another god. I think Osiris is the son of Nun or something. They have Ashiruwa, Ore, they have a way our people used to give all those stories, all those shrine people, they know those things. If you look at Egyptian history, they are all repeated there get to. Anyway, so my father was a leader of the Ofangwekwe. They fought war against the Otu Efa people, Otu Egbefa or Efa Egba people. This Egba, all of us are Egba or Egbaking or Egba, whatever I call them, but Egba is a society. Not Egba. Egba is angle. Egba is a seat. So, in that side of the Otuefa, the aggressors, those are the Obas, those who need. Because those were in the outside land, you have Swofowa. They were kings, so kings in those outside area, those outside Kanuri, Brionu, Bonu, and the Ekano, Nuri, all those. They all have kings, just like. But when the Fulani, the Madam Fodio people came, the last one, they tried to wipe all the other side, but they didn't succeed. Those we that are living more in the forest area, they couldn't succeed. That was, thank God, that was why they put the headquarters of Africa, of Hebrew, in Ota area, which is thick forest area that it's difficult to cross over and overtake. The gods are wise. Anyway, so my maternal great-grandfather was that last of known that Ofangwegbe. They have links everywhere. So the story of what caused this 1,000 wars was what they were passing down among themselves, which he eventually passed on to my great grandmother, or my auntie, or my grandmother, I should call her, which was still a high priest of this Ezuku Ora, or Ezoroku, or the name is Ezuku. You have another one in Ogan. They own the same area, the headquarters now. But the main place of all those, all the shrines was altar. The altar. That's why English started using as altar too. So he was the leader. They were passing those stories down. In their side of Otuo, there were so many small society that was. The side was Juku side was there. The Igbo side was there. The Yoruba side was there. They were all fighting the other side. They are the ones they call Sopoba. If you come to Benin, it's a side they call Sopoba. When they settled those that when they now were forced to stalemate, because our people from Ile-Ife, they've taken over Ile-Ife for long, when the war was still continuing, up to this my great grandfather them, that's when they call Oba Iweka, house of a cow, anger of a cow people. They are all a cow. The Oba, if you look at the Oba of Benin name, all of the initial name are Ika names. All the Yoruba kings, all of them are Ika. If you even go to Ife, all the everything is Igbo, you'll be wondering, because they call the Igbo Saika. Not that you say Ika Saibo, no. Ika was the former name. Igbon was the name they choose, because I will give the story how Egyptian, the slaves that came back, because they were called Igbon. It's another corruption of Igbo. Ndi Habiru, or Habiru, or Haibiru, or Haibiru. And you're on the Eru, Mauritania, when here Mauritania, Mauritius and all this, or here of, you know, I will go there, but let me talk about my great grandfather first. So, he was one side. In their side, you have the Kanuri helping them, the Juku helping them, the Gala helping them, the Igbo helping them. So, they were fighting for restoration of things of old. That's why they passed a lot of stories in their high priest, but they were subdued till Idu Akan was taken over. Odudu and the people took over, they overtook this land of a bank. Later, their children now came back, and with Ife support, Yoruba support to reinstall, even Agbo, when they reinstalled that Owa, all of them came from Ife. It was later the Beninite tried to overtake Agbo. They already first installed another king. All the Seluku, all those areas, the Ife people, that's our people too, when they were supporting that followed the Odudu, the one they call Odudu and Ekale Adja, that followed the settle. They already came to try to see make that a banke, Egba ke Teto. That's the seat that rules the Teto, the Tretre tribe. That's the 6 tribe. Each of the 6 tribes, each one have two community. Otana have Eta Mozun and Ota. Olije have to be just like that. Ake supposed to have to. They have to all of the bases. Each of them, the land of our Igbanke is a complete that Star of David. It's like a triangle. Each of them goes straight to as it's faced. Just if you, I will explain the map. I drew somewhere. So he led those things with a lot of other society fighting under them, trying to fight against them. Why? So they are called the Osokpo Oba at the later age, a later age, and that's why the other Oba side, Osokpeka side, they have Ogboni there. They have Ashigidi, I think Ashigidi. So many other society fought on their own side too, trying to retain the Oba from Ife people. They were trying to dominate, let Ife people dominate the land, you know. So, but the other one will say, no, we want the whole unification. Both those that went to Mali, that went to Ghana, that went to Voodoo, that went to Dogon, all this trying they left, Ogadan, all of them were centrally the Ali Musa, Ali Igba Ke Teton. So they try to retain all those, to return all those things. So my great grandfather was the leader, one of their leader. Even up to this, he lived, because the story, he lived when they sent Ovaro men. The last of the one that I know of now, when they sent Ovaro men to Calabar, when they destroy him, the one that was staying was the great grandfather of my great grandfather of their leader. So he passed a lot of stories to my maternal mother, his own daughter. That's my grandmother now, his own daughter. One of them married even the king of my village, because they were trying to settle issues, try to bring the two families together. But that is not the issue now. We didn't have the king. They didn't have the king. So, what I'm trying to say is that that lineage, they passed those history. The same thing with my father's, where my father settled, and my mother's corner too. They call them the Omueromo people. All of them Omueromo, Eri is still Ray, children of Ray, Ndire or Omueri or something. There's a way they call the name. I will explain all this things later. So you have to walk. That too, this thing was when politics came to our land, NCNC and Action Group as NCNC. One side was supporting NCNC, one side was supporting Action Group. You see? So the thing moved on to this extent. So the story is not there. They were telling us, oh, they on the NCNC, the NCNC when they Famwegbe, when they on the Action Group, when the Action Group on the Osopeka, in the Ogboni, in the this. So, but we that were being brought up, the checker, we already know the story. They already told us the story how it is. That these people were this way. This is how it started. 1,000 wars. But the white men now is turned to political war. No longer killing each other, scattering this and this and this. It was not a caricature that brought. War has started. The war has actually divided before a caricature. A caricature was trying to unify it, but by unifying it, he tried to build his own kingship, which was against it. And that kingship now, they said they died in the war. Those Arabs that came, that the Ibadi people, they formed Ibadan. Ibadan was their war garrison. Ibadan army became their garrison. And even Egba people, migrated there. Many of them supported because the Kajan was their son. But many of them still stayed. Druid that stayed was one that was enslaved and punished as my maternal people. So where my grandfather now that was telling this story hailed from. So, but it is, I believe that the Kalekadian and Otoliga, many of them died in the war, and that he didn't have a child because he was cursed. But later they said, you hear story now say he had one child. My people said they never had a child. So the war generals now share the land. Both the outside land, they had kings, just like the Oba, just like the Uni, just like the elders. They have them Zaiki, Ezakene, Eziyakene, Sariki, Eziyakene. The same Ika. Awusa is a Ka language, a colloquial, because there are people that migrated back from Asia, Arabic and all these people joined them. Yoruba is a Ka, people that migrated Belesha. Don't you see Palestine and Israel when they were talking the Bible? They speak Semitic language, the same related language. So all this fellowship, they were all like the same. All of them started from that account. They understand themselves small. Just as the way now, Britain has so gone far. British Anglican have gone. They have transmuted so far that you hardly understand them. It's only that because I understand them, I'll now pick English word. I say, what is this problem? I say, problem. Oh, what is love? Liefe. What is hell? What is? You see that all the English words are all a car words, but to put them in a sentence, the thing is difficult. But you understand more etymological root meaning of all English words by listening to the Hebrew language or the Ka language. So you now find that before the NCNC and the Action Group, even up to UPN and the MPN politics, there was on the Fangwegbe, on the Sopeka. What is the story behind it? Is what I'm trying to tell you. Those people did not for they passed it from shrine to shrine to shrine to shrine till it get to our own ears as people that was initiated in those shrines. When nobody was ready to take over the shrine again, but they keep telling us if we don't take this thing, this land, the whole world will never get it right. That they already missed it. They need to return back to the world because Christianity is not. They keep telling us, but we out of defiance because the evil one, which was Zata that took over Zata throne, is ruling the world. He instituted his children everywhere as the kings. And especially if we don't get here, the world has missed it. That's white. When the white overtake the black, it's another distinct message. When the white overtake the black by population, they've taken over everywhere, that the world will come an implosion. It's a message which they told us. An implosion of the world will be destroyed. The humanity will be useless for the gods. Because they are preserving their own firstborn spirits in us. All the gods united to create man. It's all there. Every part of the God, both physical, abstract part of a man and the physical part of a man is a God, a deity that came. They all contributed. Why they Nkpiti, that's Peter. We call it Peter. My name is Peter, my son name. Mpiti Monk Peter. It's a shrine in our place. It was the one that the one that molded, the molder God. It was the one that molded all those spirit contributions to become man. After much man, now we have what they call Umuadum, Umundu, or Umuada, Adamu. Ada is the gorilla. Then they talk, they turn. To how they created from ozone, all those things we get there. So that was how the story passed. Till we now start hearing that the instruments must be returned. Temple. Ethiopia, this is Ethiopia. Indi Opo. Indi Opo. Europe. Opo is Opo, that hole is the temple where the light shine, that the gods can transmute to the life. That's between where Osiris can come from the realm of the dead and the realm of the light. That's from realm of the spirit and realm of the flesh. They were coming through the temples. Each of the god had their own temple, the horoscope, zodiac and zodiac. So all those things are so related with the stories of our people. So that was how the story came to us. So as I was saying, ancestral standing order is that the land must be returned to what it was before. Then another thing again is that the kings, first I'm going to return it. All those logging, all those plantation of the evil one to represent the evil god must be uprooted, so that before the land can start breathing. Because that big tree overshadowing all other tree will not grow. They will die or suffocate others. They need to uproot it from the throne to the boundary and burnt. That Eze, whether they are talking of Eze as king or whether they are talking of Eze as Tito, I don't know, will not be recognized, because they don't want them to transmit to the next world, just as the Egyptians. So that one's another story. I'll give you about Egyptians, the Egypt of story, how they stood the mortar that made the whole world problem started. Okay, that's on one. Then two, this age that when they were having a lot of, I mentioned a lot of, when they were having crisis, people die, accident, they will now send out people to go and do divination. So many, they will send like 7 different, they give them money, you go to this town, you go to this town, go and find out what will it do. Let this problem of affecting a banker, affecting our world, crisis, death, young people dying, they will come back. Almost unified answer. Oh, people said that thing happening in them, humble, that's the river England, all those you find a humble river. Po river, all those ones. They are only in England area because I come from there. In them bo, in the she, shoma, summer. In the akan, aleka, kadian, akaojon. In the awebo, in the buhe, where was the name? They said that if they don't do it, that thing is killing people. That the Ejemona is ruling. Ejemona is human sacrifice, human blood. That the bad God is the one doing it. That is ruling over. It needs to create your own spirit and all that. That we need to do this, People will go and do sacrifice. They do a lot of rituals, festival things. Yet the thing persisted. He said, if these people need to come back, they need to call them back to bring back those things, so that the world will start breathing. Who were talking of our word? They were talking of word of a banking or word of water. I didn't know that they were talking of word of Nigeria or the word of the whole world. That the Zata has taken over from the real God, from Ore. So that's the story now. When we now grew up as educated people, I now saw that, I said, what is this history? Africa don't have history. What of this history our mothers were telling us? What of this history our fathers told me that I was writing book? I said, look, my fathers, I asked my mom, I said, forget this thing. I've told you I saw this and this. Later on, I now started. My mother died. Before my mother died, I started investigating. I said, okay, before I lost my wife. I said, see, this is Bible. I will say this thing. I will say, look at this name of the Bible. Exodus. Esio Ushi. Our land is you do this, or go do this. Everything you do in our land before. And Ezu, Odu, Ushi. That's Ozu, they are going to the road to Odu. And the other one is Shimota. They are going to Ota. The same place is coming now. Both the Hebrew, the journey. And say, look now. When we Oforo, our story, our mothers told us how they came. Oforo, you are aligned with even with the Bible, you are aligned somehow. But how come people don't tell this story? I found out that the world don't even know it. And we Nigerians don't even know our history. Because the kings came, they gave a different story. Just as the Bible mutilated the whole thing. They gave a different story. They say, my son is Ogun. Ogun? Which Ogun? Stonehenge is called Igufriye. The Gun Useko. That's what they call Igun Seko. Ishitoni, Shitoni, yeah, stone. Ihiyingi, Shitoni is a town. The Hiyingi in Shitoni, that's Shitoni hedge. Igufriye, that's his name, local name. The same Igun, Ogun. Iyi land, Iyi Ireland. The same Iyi, is it not here Iyi land? Sikota, that's Sikota land. You have Sokota, the same Sokoto, a cardinal. So the whole thing is, but our people are not, our eyes did not open up to know our history. They refuse to teach us in school. Africans, no, we are so wicked to ourselves. Starting from those kings, my brother, my sisters, we need mayors. Wake up. I don't hate anybody. It's not about personal issue. If you talk about my mother told said the people that brought our lineage rule the whole world before they banned kingship. That we are all in Zere people, Zere and Zereni, king people. We are not human king, but in the era brought kingship upon us. So it must be before we start solving our problem. We must push that one out. Before we start seeing light, before we start breathing, or else we remain like this. Our children, enslaved forever. My brother, wake up. My sister, wake up. That's standing order. Then plus the other one, all the same thing, that we need to bring these things back because why things are happening. So those are the things I want to study, the topic for today. So if you have any other message from your own ancestral shrine or from things of old, please reach me through the comment section, through the email I'm bringing out. It's still on top of the comment section, the email, or through, later on you get my phone and my WhatsApp. If you communicate with me, I'll give you those ones so that easily interaction. I know that a lot of scholars, a lot of researchers will come forward, but at least this is we need to have a book already I'm writing, but this one will be, I don't want to write things on my own. Later people start, we want to professionalize ideas or the message our ancestors left behind. As I said earlier, the Robo side, I know my mother used to tell me. The Anyoma side, they said their father used to have a lot of legs. He will travel 1 month, he has not come back. Because he goes to people that have the same family with people. He goes to them, they go to meet, they do this, they say sometimes month, he travel. When they say, like when he hears where she, like India, she were Mbia. Whether it's Nubia, whether it's Ushimbia. Mbia is what they call that Nubia or India. They went there, see that's where they go, they went meet with Jambia or Jamitimbia. It's 2 months to see February before Loa. Which are this way, so many things. So that is the story I have. So we must work together. Instead of separating more, West Africa have separated enough. We need to unite, even though we are creating modern states, but we need to unify ourselves and know who we are. African Americans, I'm talking to you people. You, whatever educated or not educated, the world is more spiritual than physical. Let us unite. African Europeans, people in diaspora, it is you people I'm talking to. Because those in Nigeria, their head, most of our heads are wrong. In short, the dominants have so much corrupted us, we don't think again. Come and join and help us. Let us make Nigerian survive. If Nigeria gets it right, the whole Africa and the whole black race will start getting it right. That is why I'm taking out time. If not, I'll be sleeping like every other person. This series is going to be up to, I have almost 30 something listed, up to the origin of alphabet. Aliefi, Birita, Jeme, Iseneka. The origin of number, even the writing of number, is the map of Ebake. The Indiefida, that's Ishota, Indiefida, Star of Indiefida, is map of Ebake. Just like that. Triangle, that's Ebake Teton. 6. All of them have written out. One of the origin of all the names of the world is a series, session by session by the war between the story I have between the Benin. Benin is the one we know more because that's where we are. Benin Empire, that's which are Nestors. Why they are Nyoma side, they took, all those stories my mother told me. I made them session by session by session. The meaning of the names, the meaning of towns. Like when you hear now, you hear TV, Ndiefe. I've talked about Sokoto, Sokota, but they call it Sokoto, called Otto is what the Arabic call it, when the Fulani took over. Which, this happened about 18 now, 18 this thing. Although the Fulani too, I'm not saying Fulani is a cow, Fulani is not a cow. No, hear me right. Because all of us might be the same, but you cannot uproot who is already here because you are coming. I'm not saying they are. No, we must ask who they are first. Because a lot of us Moors went to fight the wars of Moor. When the white man pushed us off, a lot of us was coming. But at the same time, there were people that supported to disintegrate Egypt. Egypt was already a cursed land because they took the shrines that did not make us to complete the creation in this place. That's another story. So those that support, the blacks that supported Egypt, at the fall of Egypt, many of them came here late. Our people rejected them. I knew about Ndi Ekekpeshale, the story of Ndi Puerishi, Ndi Ekekpeshale. Whether they are the Fulani, I don't know. But I know also of Ndi Alefi. We are Ndi Alefi. Ndi Eduefi. We all have Efi. Efi is what we call Nama. What we call a Kawa. A Kawa is cow. A Ka of Ruwa. Cow. Kawa. We call it Male. Malu. Lu. We call it Nama. We call it Efi. All of them are the same name. If you look at history, the first king of Egypt was what? The Pharaoh of who? His call is Nama. Nama, the Efe. We all Efe people, anyway. So, my brothers, my sister, I think I've said much for this story of our standing, ancestral standing order and the prophecy of this age. That we must unify in a way. We must remember our ancestral gods. They were beings that came here from Enu, from the Orion star, Orion B or whatever. They came here, they started creation in this earth. Whether the creation has started before they came, I don't know. But we have another myth of creation. I will get there. When I narrate the story, how we divide all this migrational story, that's going to be the next one now. Later on, I start bringing those, how the history was realized, like these numbers, this alphabet in our own language, the meaning compared with English. I know when I look at a book, I see that Greek is part of English. Latini is part of English. Aramaic, and they are Aramaika, whether Mayeka or Mayeka, I don't know. But because the people who you ask, what we give you name. Up to Ndi America. If you look at the first name of America was Ndi America. Ndi Oma is Rome. Oma is a god. The shrine was in around this Ronigbe area too. Horoma is one of the towns they destroyed. That shrine, they brought it down from Rome. Italy, I've told you that Itamosu. Iyakre, that's Iraq. Ione is Ion, Ilore. Then Iran, Iran, Sistan. All those lands, all of them are God come that He brought here. Up to from Europe. All of from Indibogun, Edinburgh. All of them are here. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm saying. My father told me, my mother taught me. The only thing is that to write, to teach people from a car language to English is difficult for me. But I know what I'm saying. So it might take me time to explain. But if you ask questions, we will cross-fertilize idea before we publish our books. But first and foremost, let us. Nigeria is one. Nigeria, and you're in Guinea. In Guinea is in Guinea. One of the Sheki, or Shekiri one. Ishekere or Isheki, whatever. If I am Bundi Jekere, because we were the one that wake on white people, they bring them to the headquarters that was hidden. The Ethiopia River also bring it to Oyon River to the headquarters of Ta. Ndi Sheki, after them you have Ndi Shekalaiwi, Shekelewu, Ndi Shekalaiwi. It's another people. They are Ugbo, all of them Ugbo and Garden of Eden side. You see Aliugbo. Ozugbo, that's the Igbo, Ozugbo. We are a worker. I've said topic by topic, but I want to reinforce that. Don't think I don't know what I'm saying if you read this thing. Let people hear, I want people to hear, so that the earlier people hear it with cross-fertilize idea, especially Hausa, transmute it to Hausa, especially Kanuri, especially Igala, especially Yoruba. All of us are the same. People came later, language started changing, but it missed. We are the people of Bible say we are Shem, children of Shem. I don't know about Shem, but I know that Ishimo, Jefuteni, and Ramoham, Ramo. I know they look alike, but I don't know about that one. But I know that there are tribes here. Zamfara, Zamofera. It's a coward. This Zamfara, that capital was Daura. They are the side of Ndero, Angusa, Hausa. You have in the Kanuri, when you obey, in the Araba, Taraba, they are one of the branches, Mbe, in the Ogogo, Congo. ugbo ologbo urobo obo they are all the benue iyi oroba. Ba is a god. Baba, you have Baba, you have Mama is a god. Mama is under god. Oma, Yoruba. All the tribe in Nigeria, all the tribe in Nigeria are a Ka word because we are all a Ka. So instead of divide, this king is the one that brought our division. The kings they brought in the Arab, they planted them because this one were working for Zoroastrian that came Puerushin here. I want to have audio story, my brothers and sisters. Let's wake up. We are all one. You are Hausa, you are Yoruba, you are this. All of us have come here to serve the God. If my ancestors stayed in Europe, I would have been a white man. If your ancestors stayed in Russia, you would have been a white man. By intermarriage, you would have transmuted 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Huh? So, my brothers and sisters, that's what my message for today. Reach me back. I bless everyone. Everybody remain blessed. But know that we must wake up and make Africans get it right. As our own brothers, even the Shazwozi, the Agoli Shazwoni, how they have gotten it right. All of us must get it right. Thank you, my brothers, my sisters. I greet you all.